Hello everyone and welcome to this never-ending gear balance. So first off, some general info. So I will tell you how it was in Mortal Online 1 and how the whole thing changed all over the years. And then we will hear Henrik's statement to the balance overall. So first off, some general infos. In the official Mortal Online 2 forums in the feedback section are often threads about the balance, but also in the general discussion. But here are often some suggestions about changing some gear values, changing the balance, changing magic, changing archery, and a lot more stuff. A link to that is in the description, by the way. And often people write something like, "Why do I have to use reagents to cast a spell? This is shit!" And that is often because some people don't know better and don't know why these things exist. For example, also the running while casting. Some things are here for balance reasons. And what many people forget is this game has over a decade of balance behind. For some people, some mechanics feel more like restrictions, but they are there for a reason. Many people also write something like, why can't I 1 versus 1 my mage with a Thuzar foot fighter warrior? Yeah, you see the problematic. There's also some stuff like gear balance and also the balance to be PvP ready more or less. For example, for a mage to be PvP ready in a group, just for example, is maybe the better gear is maybe 20 gold with a very good light thin armor and with the reagents and stuff. But for a foot fighter, it's a steel armor, a tank steel armor, a chronite armor, or even just more expensive. To be really hardcore high-end PvP ready. The problematic is that if the foot fighter once dies, a mage could be on the PvP field for maybe 30 times. But this is just one thing about the whole balance. It's good that Star Wars will change stuff and that they listen to the feedback of the community. But here comes the problematic. That was the problem in Mortal Online 1. In Mortal Online 1, they changed the balance so much over the years that so many people get really hardcore pissed. And some even left the game just because of the balance stuff. So I will just tell you the story of my balance problems. So I first started to use swords in Mortal Online 1. Then they nerfed the two-hand great blades. Then I started to use halberds and polearms. Then they nerfed these. Then I started to use axes. Then they got a rebalance. Then I started to use spears and they nerfed the piercing damage of the spears. So nearly every 2 years I changed my whole playstyle. And the weapon I just loved to play. I made a lot of PvE, so I was double pissed because the balance changes for the people that cried for balance changes for PvP also affected my PvE playstyle. That has nothing to do with the whole balance shit. There were so many balance changes over the years in Mortal Online 1 that so many people got pissed and mad all the time. The problem is with the balance that it's very subjective. So if it's your own personal experience with the stuff, and it is also how you play the things. Balance is a never-ending story, and you can't end this. The whole thing is, if you change stuff all over again, people just get mad and pissed, and that doesn't help anyone more or less. Doing nothing maybe also helps, don't help anyone. But that is just something that we have to accept, that the balance will never end. And if you change it over again, then it would just bring mayhem to us all. But now, much more importantly, what Henrik thinks about the combat balance and in general, the balance of something or even the balance of items and stuff. It's just the overall balance. But Henrik is talking here more about the gear balance, but it's also just a factor of balance.
Can we shrink the gear stats disparity gap between highest tier gear and average gear for more skillful competitive wearing? It's that is obviously a very personal view from everyone in the community. How powerful should something be compared to gear, damage, defense, and then player skills that gets fully involved in all these aspects. And it's a very difficult thing when it comes to balancing this, because again, we all have completely different views on how it should be. And depending on who you ask, it's either too high, too low, or perfect. And we try to find a good ground that kind of fits what we're aiming for in terms of, we want to make sure that player skills, teamwork, and knowledge is always king. And we think that that is the case. Those three ingredients is king when it comes to success in Mortal 9 in a wide scale. Obviously, we want to make sure that it's worth investing, getting high tier materials that takes a lot of time to produce and maybe very expensive, a lot of skill investment, time investment to get these pieces. Obviously, we want to make sure that there's enough value behind it. There's a small bonus to wear this. And it's up to the player to determine, is it worth going out in Crow Knight? Do I afford to lose it or not? And I think that we have found a very good balance when it comes to that. And obviously a lot thanks to Mortal 1. So we have used all that data over 10 years to see how that have been playing, reading the data, and try to, again, refine that an additional step in Mortal 2. And, data and feedback are pointing that we are on a pretty good level, and it's at least following along with the vision we have for the game when it comes to player skills matters, knowledge matters, and obviously it should be worth spending time, or why would I use steel weapons or chronite weapons, for instance? And as soon as we have changed these numbers where people don't use it, they say it's not worth it, it's a waste, or when people say the opposite, it's only this, nothing else, that's when it's more clear for us that we are a little bit off balance. Right now we see a very good, again, wide variation of the different tiers, and we also see people that are practicing and good at the game and do very good teamwork and communication. They are also, in most cases, the most successful when it comes to different player encounters. So the overall picture is that we are quite happy with where we're standing right now. So I hope that kind of give you a response on where we are right now, at least. And then again, I fully understand that there will always be someone that doesn't agree, and that is unavoidable, as in many other areas when it comes to Mortal 9 balance, features, etc. Getting one shot by highest tier gear is grind to win, not competitive PvP. So, if you're naked, then yes, you're supposed to be able to be one shot by something dangerous, or close to that at least. But as soon as you have any protection, that's when that greatly gets reduced. Obviously, you can still be very vulnerable when it comes to having clothing or light armor, depending on what the impact is. But, those are the extreme factors against each others. I'm talking about the overall picture. Then we are very happy with the overall balance when it comes to player skills and knowledge is rewarded with great success over, grind for levels, skills, and items.
So in general, if you have balance suggestions or anything related to that, please also post it in the Mortal 1 and 2 forums, because people like to discuss about this all the time. So I hope for you that you found the playstyle you like and love. But please don't insult people in the Mortal 1 and 2 forums, and don't talk shit about other playstyles that you maybe don't know about, and just report from your personal experience what you think is not good, what you think is good. So as always, thanks for watching. So special thanks to all the channel supporters: Carmel, Professor Oslam, Gaming, Wahlberg, Spice Gentleman, Thibni, Donski, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Vinya, you, and all the others, of course. I think I was never this fast. So always remember to balance hard, party hard, and see you next time. Goodbye!